Have you ever wondered why the very people who once disrespected you are now desperately searching for you? Their offenses weren't just against you, they were against something far greater. They couldn't see it then, but their actions weren't simply dismissive, they were blind to your true value. And that blindness led them to mistreat you, thinking they could undermine your worth. But now, as their lives unravel and they search for something they can no longer grasp, you stand on a different path, one they can't walk because it's illuminated by a light they never acknowledged. They didn't just disrespect you once, they made it a pattern. They took joy in making you feel lesser than them. And for a long time, you believed them. What they didn't realize is that their actions weren't just about you. God was watching. He saw every sneer, every cold shoulder, every word meant to tear you down. And he did not like what he saw. These people thought they could get away with their behavior forever. But God never allowed their treatment to go unnoticed. There's a spiritual justice that they can't see but will eventually feel. God allowed the mistreatment for a time. Not because he didn't care, but because he knew you were in a process of becoming. Sometimes, the greatest growth comes from the greatest pain. You had to endure their disrespect so you could learn who you really are. Not through their eyes, but through God's eyes. Every word, every action that tried to tear you down was actually building you up, refining you, shaping you into the person you are today. Their mistreatment was part of a divine process that led you to understand your true purpose and spiritual identity. Through this painful journey, you gained clarity about yourself. You started to see that their disrespect was never about you. It was a reflection of their own insecurities and inability to recognize greatness. They projected their own limitations onto you because they couldn't see beyond their own fears. But slowly, you began to see yourself differently. You realized that their words held no power over you. You discovered that your worth was never dependent on their opinions. It was anchored in something far greater. God didn't let the cycle of mistreatment continue forever. He stepped in when the time was right, and he began to shift things in your life. The very people who thought they could continue disrespecting you suddenly found themselves distanced from you. God removed you from their reach, both spiritually and physically. And in that space of separation, you began to heal. You started to thrive, no longer weighed down by their negativity. The pain they caused served a higher purpose. It revealed the strength and resilience within you that you didn't even know existed. God used their actions to show you who you truly are, to remind you that you are chosen, favored, and protected. While they thought they were breaking you, they were actually helping to build a stronger version of you, a version they can no longer touch. Now, as you look back on that cycle of mistreatment, you can see it for what it really was, a necessary step in your spiritual evolution. You had to endure the disrespect to learn how to rise above it. And now, you stand taller, stronger, and more confident than ever before, free from the chains of their toxic behavior. And now they're searching for you. Isn't it ironic? The very people who once couldn't be bothered with you, who disrespected and mistreated you, are now looking for you. But the truth is, they don't even know who they're looking for anymore. The person they once knew doesn't exist. You've changed, you've evolved, and you've outgrown them. They're confused because they can no longer find you in the places you used to be. The tables have turned, and now they are the ones feeling lost. What's even more ironic is that they never saw your worth to begin with. They judged you based on their limited perspective, their shallow understanding of who you were. They were spiritually blind, unable to recognize the greatness inside you. To them, you were just another person to be used, another stepping stone in their lives. They didn't have the insight to see the depth of your spirit, the value that God placed within you. And now, as they search for you, they are realizing too late that they misjudged you. The reason they're searching for you now is that they sense something has shifted. They may not be able to articulate it, but they feel it. They can no longer dismiss you or treat you the way they once did, because you've outgrown their limited understanding. You've shifted on a spiritual level, and that shift has created a distance between you and them that they cannot cross. They don't fit into your life anymore, and they know it, even if they can't admit it to themselves. Their confusion is rooted in their ignorance. They thought they knew who you were, but they only knew the version of you that was still growing, still discovering your purpose. They had no idea that beneath the surface, God was preparing you for something far greater. And now that you've stepped into that greater purpose, they don't know how to respond. They're grasping at straws, trying to find a way back into your life, but it's too late. They are beginning to realize the mistake they made in underestimating you. They are searching for you because they miss what they once had, a connection to someone who was destined for greatness. But here's the truth. They never truly appreciated you. Their regret now comes from a place of selfishness, not from genuine remorse. They want to benefit from your growth, but they weren't willing to respect you during the process. And now, they've missed their chance. God has elevated you to a new level, and they can't reach you there. It's not that you've disappeared, it's that you've ascended to a place they aren't equipped to go. Their ignorance kept them blind to your value, and now their regret can't undo the damage they caused. They will keep searching, but they will never find you because you are no longer in the space where they left you. So let them search, let them regret. But know this, their confusion is not your problem. You've moved on, and they will have to come to terms with the fact that they lost something they never truly valued. You've stepped into your purpose, and they're left behind, stuck in the same cycles that once ensnared you. But let's be real, you've risen above all that noise for a reason. You're not here to blend in with the ordinary or get lost in the crowd. You've got a vision, a power, and a purpose that set you apart, and you deserve a place that recognizes your greatness. That's why you need to be in the Obsidian Inner Order, our elite program designed specifically for chosen ones who refuse to settle for anything less than extraordinary. This isn't about being another face in the crowd. It's about stepping into a circle where your uniqueness is celebrated and your potential is unleashed. As a member, you'll get exclusive access to content that's not just informative but transformative. Guidance, insights, and secrets to wielding true magic power that you won't find anywhere else. We're already 70+ strong, with less than half a dozen spots left in the much-coveted Star Chamber level, where the perks are even sweeter. We've already dropped 2 preview chapters of modern manifestation mechanics as a membership benefit because we want our chosen ones to have everything their heart desires. This isn't about what you can do for us, it's about what we can do for you. You'll be equipped with the tools and knowledge to elevate your journey and manifest the life you truly want. The link to our Patreon is in the description. Don't waste time on the sidelines with the riffraff muggle bottom feeders. Step into the inner order and claim your rightful place among the elite. Because you're not just chosen, you're a force, and it's time you have the resources to live like one. Let's rise, where they can't reach, where only the truly chosen belong. God didn't just pull you out of that toxic environment, He completely moved you. He didn't just shift you spiritually, He shifted your entire life. He placed you on a new path, one that those who mistreated you can no longer walk. You've moved on and they're left behind, stuck in the same places that once held you captive. God moved you physically, emotionally, and spiritually, creating a distance that they cannot bridge. You've healed from the trauma they caused. You've let go of the pain and the bitterness, and you've embraced the new chapter that God has written for you. It wasn't easy, but you did the work. You faced the wounds they inflicted, and you allowed God to heal you from the inside out. Now you're walking in your purpose, thriving in a life that is far removed from the one you once knew. You've moved on, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. The people who mistreated you, the toxic family, the old friends, they were low vibrational. They were operating on a frequency that no longer resonates with you. You've outgrown them. You're no longer in the space where their negativity can touch you. And now, they're left wondering what happened, trying to figure out why they can't find you anymore. But the truth is, they don't belong in your life anymore. They were part of your past, but they have no place in your future. God has elevated you. He's placed you in a new environment, surrounded by people who respect you and recognize your value. These new connections are uplifting, positive, and aligned with your growth. You no longer have to tolerate the toxic energy that once surrounded you. You're free from the negativity, the drama, and the low vibrational behaviors that once held you back. The people from your past may try to reconnect, but they'll find that the door has been closed. You've moved on, and they can no longer enter your life the way they once did. It's not that you're holding a grudge, it's that you've simply outgrown them. They no longer serve a purpose in your life, and God has made it clear that they have no place in this new chapter. You've moved on, and there's no going back. And as you continue to grow and evolve, they will continue to wonder what happened. They'll search for you in the places they used to find you, but they'll come up empty-handed every time. You've moved on, and they can't follow. You're on a higher level now, one that they are not equipped to reach. Let them search. Let them regret. But know that you are exactly where you need to be, far beyond their reach. Their ignorance runs deep. They still don't understand why you no longer tolerate their foolishness. They can't comprehend why their old tricks and toxic behaviors no longer have any effect on you. They're stuck in the same mindset, thinking they can continue to treat you the way they always have, with no consequences. But here's the truth. They never understood who you truly were. Their ignorance kept them blind to your value, and now they're filled with regret. They thought they could keep playing the same games, but they didn't realize that you've grown. You've changed. You no longer operate on the same level as them, and their toxic energy can no longer touch you. They are confused because they are still operating from a place of ignorance, trapped in their own destructive patterns. They never imagined that you would outgrow them, that you would rise above their toxicity and leave them behind. And now, their ignorance has turned into regret. They're starting to realize what they lost. They wanted to push you away with their actions, and now they don't understand why they succeeded. They thought they could mistreat you and still keep you around, but they were wrong. You've moved on, and they are left with the painful realization that their behavior drove you away for good. Their regret is heavy, but it's also rooted in selfishness. They don't regret the pain they caused. They regret the loss of someone they could no longer control. They regret losing the connection to someone who was destined for greatness, someone who was never meant to stay in their toxic world. They're searching for you now, but they can't find you because you've moved on to a higher level, a place they can't reach. Their ignorance and regret go hand in hand. They didn't value you when they had you, and now they're scrambling to find a way back into your life. But the door is closed. They can't follow you where you've gone because they're still operating in the same low vibrational mindset that once held you back. They will keep searching, but they will never find you. Their regret will haunt them, but it won't touch you. You've moved on, and their ignorance is no longer your burden to carry. Let them live with the consequences of their actions while you continue to thrive in the life God has prepared for you. Their regret is powerless now, and you are free from the weight of their toxicity. Let me tell you about the prophetic dream. In this dream, there was a man with tattoos all over his face, desperately trying to wash them off. No matter how hard he scrubbed, the ink wouldn't fade. He wanted so badly to appear clean, to wash away the marks that had stained him. But it was impossible. This dream is a symbol of the people who mistreated you, now trying to appear righteous after all the wrong they've done. They want to erase their past behavior, but the stains of their toxicity run too deep. These people are trying to present themselves as something they're not. They're trying to convince themselves and others that they've changed, that they're no longer the same toxic individuals who once mistreated you. But the truth is, they can't wash away their past. Their toxicity is still there, clinging to them, no matter how much they try to hide it. Spiritually, they are filthy, and no amount of scrubbing will make them clean. The man in the dream represents those who wronged you, those who now realize the weight of their actions but are powerless to undo the damage. They're battling their own demons, trying to shake off the low vibrational spirits that still cling to them. They want to appear righteous, But their past can't be erased so easily. The scars they've left behind, on themselves and on you, can't just be washed away. They are still trapped in the same cycles, still engaging in the same toxic behaviors that once held them back. No matter how much they try to present a clean face to the world, their spirit remains unhealed. They're still battling the same demons that led them to mistreat you in the first place. And while they struggle with their inner turmoil, you've moved on to a higher plane, free from the spiritual filth that still clings to them. The dream is a reminder that no matter how much they try to change their outward appearance, their inner spirit remains the same. They can't escape the consequences of their actions. They may try to present themselves as changed, but their toxic energy still lingers. And that's why they can't reach you anymore. You've moved beyond their toxicity, and no amount of pretending on their part will ever bring them back into your life. God has cleansed you from their influence, and now they are the ones left struggling to clean up their own mess. But no matter how hard they try, they can't erase the past. The marks of their actions are permanent, a reminder of the choices they made. And while they try to wash away their mistakes, you are free, living in the peace and purpose that God has prepared for you. While you've moved on, their lives remain stuck in the same toxic patterns. They haven't changed. They're still engaging in the same destructive behaviors that once defined them. They're still living in low vibrational energy, surrounded by chaos, drama, and negativity. Their lives are filled with self-destructive habits, drinking, drugs, unhealthy relationships, everything that keeps them trapped in a cycle of misery. They haven't grown, they haven't healed, and they certainly haven't risen to the level where you now stand. Their lives are a reflection of the chaos they once tried to drag you into. They're still caught up in the same old games, still trying to fill the void with temporary pleasures and meaningless distractions. They haven't learned the lessons that life has tried to teach them. And now, as they watch you thrive, they can't understand why their lives are still falling apart while you've moved on to something greater. Your growth is evident. You're surrounded by people who respect you, who uplift you, who operate on the same spiritual frequency as you. Your circle has changed. The people in your life now are those who recognize your worth and honor the path that God has placed you on. You're no longer weighed down by the toxic energy that once surrounded you. You've created a new reality, one that is aligned with your purpose and your spiritual growth. The contrast between your life and theirs is stark. While they continue to engage in low vibrational activities, you've risen above it. Your energy is higher, purer, and more aligned with the divine purpose that God has set before you. You've chosen a different path, one that leads to peace, fulfillment, and growth. And they are left behind, trapped in the same cycles that once ensnared you. They can't understand why their lives haven't changed, why they're still struggling with the same issues, while you seem to be thriving. But the truth is, they haven't done the work. They haven't faced their demons. They haven't healed. They're still clinging to the same toxic behaviors that once held you both back. And now, as they watch you soar, they're left with nothing but regret and confusion. The reality of their lives is that they are still stuck. They're still living in a world of low energy, still engaging in behaviors that keep them from growing. They haven't evolved, and they never will unless they choose to do the hard work of healing and facing their inner demons. But that's not your burden to carry. You've moved on, and their reality is no longer your concern. Let them live in the world they've created for themselves, while you continue to thrive in the life that God has prepared for you. Your growth is a testament to the power of God's grace, and their stagnation is a reminder of what happens when you refuse to change. So here's the warning. Stay away from these toxic, low-vibrational people, whether they're family, old friends, or anyone who doesn't align with your growth. Don't go back to the environments God pulled you out of. You don't need that energy in your life. God removed you from their influence for a reason, and you must be vigilant in maintaining the boundaries He set for you. Toxic people, no matter how familiar they may seem, bring nothing but chaos and confusion into your life. Their energy drags you down, their behaviors hinder your growth, and their presence blocks your blessings. God moved you out of those environments for a reason, and going back would only undo the progress you've made. You've worked too hard to heal, to grow, to rise above the past. Don't allow anyone to pull you back into the place you've already outgrown. Take, for example, the man with tattoos on his face and neck. Those marks are more than just skin deep. They symbolize a lack of self-respect, a life that's directionless and chaotic. Associating with people who carry such marks, whether physical or spiritual, is a dangerous path. These people haven't done the work to heal themselves, and their chaos will inevitably spill over into your life if you allow them back in. You don't need that energy in your space. You are worth more than that. You are a healed, purposeful individual, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who respect themselves and you. Low vibrational people, no matter how much they may try to present themselves differently, will always bring you down if you let them into your life. You don't owe them your time, your energy, or your peace. You've already moved on, and there's no reason to look back. It's not about holding a grudge or refusing to forgive. It's about protecting the space you've created for yourself. It's about honoring the work you've done to heal and grow. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing toxic people back into your life. It means releasing them from your heart while maintaining the boundaries that keep you safe. You can forgive and still choose to stay away. So stay away from those who don't align with your growth. Stay away from those who bring chaos and confusion into your life. Stay away from those who haven't done the work to heal themselves. You've come too far to go back now. You've moved on, and your purpose is too great to be hindered by the low vibrational energy of others. The people who mistreated you, they're searching for you now, but they'll never find you. You've spiritually moved on, and they no longer have access to you. Their regret is real, but it's too late. You're on a higher level, and they can't reach you anymore. So keep moving forward in your purpose. Stay in your peace, and keep away from the toxic, low-vibrational people who bring nothing but chaos into your life. You've already outgrown them. Never look back.